June 16th, 2013, and you're watching Mods on Air.
2 FPS, 3 RPGs, and 5 sim-type games.
Yeah.
I think you'd be able to come up with one here.
I'm actually pulling this one hard.
Ask all the people that need hacks to play Call of Duty. I can hear you groaning inwardly every time Sin's mentioned. You're just cringing.
Welcome everyone, especially dads. Yes, welcome to episode 381 of Mods on Air, bringing you the weekend gaming news as modders, developers, and gamers ourselves. I am foyleman, and also on the show today we have with us Welshy. Hello, Welshy.
Hello. It's hot and I'm tired.
And also with us is Ham. How you doing, Ham?
Doing pretty good. Hey, everybody.
Good. All right. So before we begin, let me remind you all that the show is recorded before a live audience, of which you may be a part. Anyone can listen in and message about the topics as we discuss them. And for the topics that we do discuss, hopefully the relevant URLs will end up into the chat window, in case you care to follow along. But they'll end up on the show page after we're all done at the end of the week here. For the other links that are posted, you shouldn't click on them. Don't know where they'll bring you. And finally, for those of you who haven't heard the show before, there is occasionally some explicit language and adult themes. So you may want to put earmuffs on those children's ears.
Yeah. Occasionally means always.
Right. So, yes, first of all, happy Father's Day to all dads out there. And also, if you happen to be Captain Picard, happy Captain Picard Day.
What makes it happy Captain Picard Day?
Captain Picard Day. I don't know. Just so happens to fall on today. Picard. Yes. Okay, so last week was E3. It was the big show. Well, it used to be the big show. I'm gonna talk about some E3 stuff here. I did go to E3, and I'm gonna be straight up and honest here. I was not overly excited to go, and while I was there, I was not overly excited about any particular thing, and after I left, I was not overly excited about anything that I had seen.
So that sounds like disappointment. The ground of it.
That could. Yeah.
Didn't see much. Though,
No.
kind of. I saw. Is it Division?
Mm-hmm.
Division.
It was like a third-person shooter, but it was a co-op, which actually looked pretty good. But they're kind of denying whether it's going to be on PC or not, and it's just like, yeah, exactly.
I
No
thought I
PC.
heard a reference to it being on PC.
No. They said sorry. This E3.
They're like, no, we haven't got any plans for it to be on PC.
Oh.
Right. That was their announcement at E3. Mm-hmm. You're absolutely right. Yeah, it was just I don't know. I should also say that I went as an industry professional. I did not go as media personnel, which will be quite the opposite when PAX comes up. I'm very excited about PAX. I'll be going as media. Welshy will as too, and Strider. Oh, Ham bailed on us. Anyway,
I might.
But anyway, E3 was over in Los Angeles, California. Decent flight out there. Let's see, I have something in here which maybe I'll just highlight again later because I don't have the topic right in front of me of how many people were actually at the show. But it wasn't as many as I expected.
Well, it says the topic. It says 48,200 in attendance.
Yeah. So yeah.
So I don't know if that's up or down. I really haven't paid attention to the numbers over the years.
Yeah. So there was I don't even seem to have that topic here. I have it there, but not here. Oh, there it is. Nope, that's not it. I lost that topic. Great. So yeah, there was that many list. 48,000 in attendance. Now, Welshy should remember. Do you remember PAX last year? Wasn't it 120,000?
I don't know.
PAX,
Google will know.
Yeah. So, I really believe that there was quite a difference. Okay. Last year's PAX Prime, 2011. Was 70,000 people.
So already nearly double.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Well, actually, I
that's
guess
what
not
happens.
nearly double.
That's what happens when you limit it to like media and industry only.
Right. I guess that is
Because I'm
part
sure
of it.
if they like sold separate tickets, that would have like quadrupled.
Yes, Morphus, it's supposed to be a professionals only event, but now that can be very easily worked around. For example, if you just happen to be somebody that drew some art for a game, for a mobile game, for a studio, you can now get a press, you can now get a badge through them. But I don't know if they have to pay for it, because I didn't have to pay for it. Somebody has to be paying for these things because there are prices on these. So I don't understand how that all works out. Yeah. All right, so going on with whatever happened over at that... I lost that topic. Wow. Okay, I guess the date doesn't... And there's dates already set for next year's, which is around the same time, June 10th. Same week, they're suggesting here. So there were a lot of games... I would say this was primarily for consoles, because we have Xbox One and PS4 who are trying to battle it out on that playing field.
Oh, they're
who's
not
going to have
letting
games,
it
who's
out.
going to have
PlayStation
hardware.
1.
You know what?
It's over.
And foolish me, I didn't have a chance to actually check to get the photos off my phone so I can post them up here on the show as we go along, which I don't really have very many photos. They're probably easily found elsewhere. It's a standard show that you would find over at LA, which looks like... Let's see, if that shows up on the camera, then I'll be using stuff like that more often. No, see, it's too bright, isn't it? You see the conference center with the big poster on the top, which that poster happens to be Battlefield 4. I see some Batman stuff out there. SpaceX, which I didn't know why that was there. World of Tanks, PS4, Payday 2, Mad Max, which I really didn't see anything with Mad Max because they were just showing some rendered stuff.
Yeah, it just looked like a trailer. That was it.
PS4 looks like the actual console of the PS4 looks like what you would expect the next generation of the PS console to look like. It's a little more with the harder edges, but it still has the same basic shape that you would have expected out of them. But you jump over to the Xbox. Oh,
It
yeah.
reminded me of the PlayStation 2, the original
Yeah.
one that came out, that
Yeah.
box square one.
Yeah.
But you run over to the Xbox One. We were complaining about how it looked like such a box. I gotta say, it looks cleaner and nicer in person. It does look better. However,
That's it, but
it is still a box, and I still have a huge complaint about that grating, that angled mesh, that thing that looks like it's on the top. That is indeed an air vent. Half of this box is an air vent, so they are obviously worried about heating issues.
yeah.
The top and placing a vent on the top means all
Can't
your
put anything
dust
on top of it.
is going to suck into it. You can't put anything on top of it. You can't accidentally spill something on it and not have to go out and buy a new one when you're done.
Well, you're gonna have to go buy a new one after like 2 weeks anyway, because it's gonna catch fire. So you might as well.
But you know what? They also redesigned an Xbox 360. At least I think that's a 360.
Yeah, it is. It looks like a Western Digital hard drive, external hard drive.
Right, and it also has the grill on the top. Well, that is, unless you decide to stack it on its side. Then it's not necessarily on the top. So it has the same kind of grill that's going on, and I just don't like that kind of look. But we also know that there are some issues with it because the DRAM kept overheating. But we talked about we talked about that last week.
Yeah.
Now, I also took a close look at the back of the Xbox because they keep touting how this whole thing has to go on with you can plug your TV into it and have all these things going on. So I'm thinking to myself, well, if I have a TV, I'm going to want to plug... Yeah?
Just quickly, was it in a case when you were looking at this?
Yes.
Or was it... Yeah, that's just what I was wondering.
It was
I
in a
thought
glass
much.
case. There was several of them in several different glass cases around the area.
With sneeze guards.
Yeah, sure. We'll call it that. But you know, it keeps talking about how you plug your TV into it and then how you can watch your TV. So I'm thinking that it's some sort of media center, or almost like not a receiver, but I want to call it a media center where you plug everything into it and just everything is contained there, and you decide what you're going to watch based on the Xbox. But that's not going to be
through.
Yeah, but that's not going to be the case if there's a single HDMI input.
Ugh. So you can plug your TV into it and that's it.
That's your cable box and then your TV on the HDMI out.
Oh, there's an out as well. I guess.
One in,
There's
one
something,
out.
But
Yep, internet port network port.
You know what's really
infrared port?
funny?
Yeah.
Is they have this argument every time the new consoles come out. Normally, I don't really care because PC, so I've already won. But it's just I always watch the console war when they who's gonna win it, just out of interest. And this year, PlayStation won it by such a long distance. It's not even funny. It's just everything the Microsoft is releasing with the Xbox is essentially to fuck you over. And PlayStation have just pretty much sat down with Sony and just gone, all right, let's not do that. Let's not do this. Let's the PlayStation, you can play as much used games on it as you want. There's no fees. There's no.
Fees are there.
Well,
they announced fees at E3.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
So we need to mention that as a big issue, which people now are not complaining about one having fees and the other having fees, and because now they're even playing ground, and so for some reason the complaints went away. What's up, Am?
I think it's so silly, and that just turned me off of a PlayStation, eyeing that potentially, because I sort of refuse to pay to play these games online when I can just go to my PC and play for free.
Oh yeah,
online.
I would not buy either of these. I'm not even gonna bother. I'm just gonna keep using my PC because my PC is already twice as powerful as two of those PlayStations.
Yeah, and I just think it's silly that these companies push like the online component of these consoles, and then they charge you for that separately. If online is so important to these consoles and the future of them, then why are you charging me to access that portion?
Because these people will pay for it.
And I guess that's the answer. Yeah, it's just ridiculous to me to charge me for access to multiplayer. You're being charged twice, basically. To access this portion of your network or your network connection. I don't know. It's just weird. There's a rant in there somewhere, but I can't get it out. Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think the only thing left to do is show that image.
Yes. You think so? You think this image needs to be done?
Definitely. Yeah.
Okay, here. Xbox One. What is that? Oh, it happens to be a PC showing all the Xbox One games.
So your argument about the Xbox is way more powerful than no, it's not.
It looks so amazing because it's running on a PC.
Yeah, that's why. Which tells me like three things. One, even Microsoft hates Windows 8. Because that's on Windows 7.
Windows 7, right.
Two, expect your games on your Xbox One to not look as good as on PC, as at the Advance. And three, Microsoft is concerned about hardware issues with the Xbox, whether it be overheating or whatever. Yeah. But if they haven't even got builds to put out on the floor, yeah, you have to wonder what's going on there.
In some cases, they were using the Xbox for demos. But the one that I am certain of is Kinect. They were playing around with Kinect on this stage.
Of course.
I mean, yeah, it has a higher resolution camera, and they added some extra software stuff going on. Software stuff being, you go to throw something, it tries to determine how hard that throw was based on the swing of your arm. I mean, so it used some software to calculate that. It can keep track of multiple people a lot better. It also has something with muscles. It assumes what kind of muscles is going on based on assumed physics.
But it's just gimmicky shit that nobody needs.
Well,
if you're a developer,
gimmicky stuff you can put into your game as a developer. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
As a developer, it's all right. As a developer, it's cool. You can use it. You've essentially got your own motion capture studio right there.
Yep.
However, if you're not a developer, it is next to useless to you.
Right.
Like, it's just, okay, I can wave at my TV and it turns off. Or I could walk the extra 3 feet and turn it off, like everyone has for the last, 100 years.
I just, it's so weird that I should say that Xbox One sort of gives you this feature that exists in Star Trek movies, but nobody really wants that. Like, it's cool in Star Trek that you can talk to the computer, but
Useless
I
features.
really don't want that. Yeah, it's so useless. What if I'm trying to be discreet? What if I, don't want to talk to it?
I don't think you have to. I guess you can press a button on the controller.
No, that would be far too logical.
And you can wave your hands. That's silence. Start snapping.
But it's not as
things.
cool, is it? to not do that stuff. This really is a case of no one asked for this. Nobody asked for this.
It's typical Microsoft in every way. It's no one even mentioned that any of this would be a good idea, but they just did it anyway.
They asked for it, actually, if you think about it. Let's go back.
Well, yeah.
They created this Kinect camera, and then they started saying, well, what else can we do with it? Nobody's asking, but we can figure something out. They asked for it. Yeah.
And then you got this thing where the Xbox One will not post if the Kinect is not plugged in. So basically, you can't turn it on and have it function without that thing plugged in.
I didn't know that. Okay.
I believe you can have it. You can have it on, but without. Yeah, but you can disable it. But yeah, I believe it has to still be plugged in.
Yeah.
So it has to be plugged in to start it up, and then you can go in and disable it. I think was the.
Yeah. It will not post without the Kinect plugged in.
Mm-hmm.
That's for sure.
Are they giving away the Kinect cameras with the console, or do you have to buy that separately?
I guess you buy it with the console.
Surely you can't. Yeah, you can't.
Nope,
they can't be doing that.
Give anything away. I mean, this thing is supposed to be priced at $500.
I don't mean give it away. I just mean it's with the console, and you have to pay an extra $20 because it's with the console. You don't have the option to pay to not pay the $20.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they announced that the PS4 will be about $300 and the Xbox will be $500.
400, wasn't it? $399.
It'll be 400. Yeah.
Okay. But definitely expect some sort of craziness where it'll be like 200 plus a 2-year required subscription to Xbox Live.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's going to happen. Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, I suppose in order to actually get any usefulness from the box, it seems like you need to have paid for Xbox Live anyway, so you might as well go that route.
And then there's a thing about having you have to connect to the internet once every 24 hours.
Right.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Yeah,
but I'll say this. All right, I'm not getting either console. I need to state that right away. I'm not no console for me.
I don't think any of us are, but you know.
But if somebody put a gun to my head and told me I had to go out and buy a console, here's the money, I would go out and buy an Xbox. And I know that sounds weird. In the past, it would have been PS3, but because of this show, there's the PS4. The PS4 has like no worthwhile games. They're all like these little games that aren't a lot of fun. But all over the show were these more advanced kind of shooter, kind of fun games that were available on the Xbox. Plus, I kind of looking at the interface. I'd rather be able to do a little bit more on my TV, even though I don't want to use Bing. At least I have the option to do it if I ever wanted to when I'm watching TV, where the PlayStation doesn't have any of those additional options. All I can do is play these games that aren't as good. And both of them have subscriptions now, so that is not my argument. Both of them have cameras, except they're slightly different, and I think the Kinect is a little bit more advanced, and at least I can use that as a developer, but I guess I shouldn't use that as an option.
I would get a PlayStation 4 if I had to, only because right now I'm seeing that the uptake that Sony's doing with independent developers is really good. I've got a friend who's making a game making a game and was going to be on the Xbox Live Indie Games platform, and I think tomorrow he's got a meeting with Sony to get his game on the PlayStation 4. He was approached.
Well, I don't know why he needs a meeting, because that's true. PS4, Sony has announced that you will be able to most likely be able to directly publish to their own store. There won't be any intermediary thing. It'll be more like Google's store.
Yeah. So, and for me that's a really big thing, because I as a I should say aspiring developer.
Yeah,
as an indie, I really want to see my games being played across homes. And right now, I'm required to have a publisher with the Xbox One. I'm not digging that.
Don't go greenlight, just in case you end up with a publisher.
Yeah.
Because then you're screwed.
Then you're screwed because you can't do both.
Stuck in limbo.
Or either is apparently the
Yeah, I don't know. All right, so that's what we know about the consoles. And not being a super huge console fan, I didn't go further into it. Unless you guys have anything else you want to bring up about it, because
no, really. I mean,
boring.
yeah, it was exciting for about 20 minutes just to see who was gonna. It's because Microsoft and Sony just have one giant pissing contest for like an hour, and it's kind of funny to watch. But then it's just like, okay, you've released a new box. I'll just go back to my PC now.
Yeah, I think in the grand scheme of it all, the real winners of the PC in all of this.
Yeah.
like really it is.
Well, it's funny because it's like, yeah, it's
on this. There's the winner.
The console versus PC one. It's kind of like, well, it's kind of not really a war if one side has already won.
Yeah, I mean,
that image alone is enough to just be like, And it's funny because it's not like we saw this at PAX a little bit as well. Like I remember playing Far Cry with an Xbox controller and it crashed at one point. So there's Windows 7. So it's not like it's a big oh my god, because like this happens. They do this all the time. It's just I thought it was funny because it's kind of like it so happened that they're releasing this new console and it's like all about next gen graphics and stuff. And it's oh wait, that's a PC. Okay, never mind.
Yeah. So, just better hardware, better graphics, better options in terms of where you want to buy games, better selection of games. It's all in the PC. And these consoles are trying so much to emulate the PC in terms of their architecture now and sort of what they do and their just infrastructure in terms of how you buy games and rent and all this other crazy stuff. It's all emulating the PC. Just get a PC.
Yeah, it's true. All right, do you want to hear about winners of E3 or losers? Moments, I guess I should say. The winning games and the losing moments. All right, both. I can't do both. I can do one or the other first.
I'd like to hear the losing moments because that's just the kind of guy I am.
All right. Let's stick with the negative then. All right, we have there was announcements. It's not a topic there. We have announcements of a lot of thefts going on. People's bags just being picked up.
Oh well, that's any conference.
Including my iPad taken from a truck, from a car.
Oh no way.
Yeah.
Oh no. They got you.
Yeah, they left everything else. They left my bag and everything, but they opened the bag and took the iPad. And there was some indie game developer who lost all of his dev kits and stuff that was lined up. Some media personnel lost cameras and things like that.
Don't you just love Los Angeles?
So it's getting worse. We don't usually hear about these things so much. Another good, interesting one that is a topic in here is the Ouya thing. Now, those of you who don't know, the conference takes place in the Staples Center. Staples Center is ginormous. It is a huge, huge conference hall, okay? It is. You think you've been to big conferences, this opens your eyes like, holy crap, all right? But obviously, the other ones are still more fun. So you have that. Now, outside of this is right in the middle of a city, Los Angeles, and on the outside of the city, let's do some diagrams. Okay, so we have the city right there in the middle. All right, right there is the Staples Center, which actually it is kind of round, and then we have some streets running by. Okay, so a little cross there, and then we have a parking lot. And another parking lot there. I'll put a P over each one. There you go. Parking lot, parking lot. So that farther parking lot right over there is where Ouya decided to set up camp. Okay, Ouya is the little developer that has their console that they started out on Kickstarter, doing very well, $100 out this month if it isn't already. And Google-driven, pretty cool idea. I like the idea of getting these indie-type games and people developing specifically for it so that you have this little console for only $100 that's out there. One day, I'm not sure if every day, they had happy hour where they were giving away beer that you could go play some games. Nice. It was a nice little setup. But in the parking lot between them, the ESA. Now, I thought they were fighting for gamers. Anyway, the ESA decided to rent that parking lot and park their tractor trailer there directly between the show and Ouya, as if to purposely block them. I mean, it looked like a blatant block. I even took a video of it, but it's hard to say. So then Ouya says, "All right, fine. Then around it, we're going to rent some walls and stuff and put up signs so that people can see the signs that point to our show." And the ESA called the police.
Wow.
So the police come, say, "All right, Ouya, what's going on? What are you doing here?" And they turn around. I don't even remember which topic it is to bring up a picture. But they turn around and say, "Here's all our permits." And the police is like, "Oh, okay. Have a good show."
Yeah, like what legal grounds do they have to say you can't be here? The ESA, like, why don't they call the police?
What the hell are the ESA doing? To
That's another question. Yeah.
Now for here's let's see. I'm trying to also call up some Wikipedia stuff on the ESA just to get a little bit more information about it. The Entertainment Software Association, of which I was at one point a part of, and I am no longer. Or I think was it the ESA? Anyway, I got a card from them. I don't know. They are sponsors, or the sponsor, I think, of the E3 Expo. They present the annual Electronic Entertainment Expo. So what I believe is going on here is they're protesting the fact that Ouya went outside of them to have their own floor space.
Okay. Yeah, no, I bet you know what this is Ouya went outside because they were probably not granted space inside.
Right.
So they're like, well, screw you then. We're just going to go outside and have our own little expo.
Sounds fine with me.
They technically then, they're not affiliated with the E3 Expo, hence why the police were called, but then when they showed up, they're just like, oh, here's a lot of permits to be here.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. Yeah. It's that they probably were asked for floor space or whatever, and were told no, or couldn't get floor space or whatever, so they're like, well, fuck you then. We're going to go outside and just have our own little shindig, give away free beer. So, and yeah, that is what it is. So, in other words, the ESA or the E3 or whatever weren't making money from them.
Right.
Okay, so the ESA speaking, you can because you can go view the Ouya console in theory without having a pass.
Yes, you could. Anyone could.
Expo. That's what it is.
Absolutely, anyone could go in there.
It's brilliant deduction.
But now the ESA is supposed to, or we've all assumed, is supposed to be lobbying for the gamers and for game developers.
What was the last thing you remember them doing? It was something about piracy, or
I don't know, but I'll tell you what. What I'm reading here is they're known for lobbying Congress to get laws passed to benefit the industry, such as copyright protection. But now they're backhanding an indie developer. We can call them an indie developer, even though it's hardware.
Yeah.
It's still in development.
So I gotta say, not only do I kind of not like them now, but I take offense to those who are members of it, such as Sony, Take-Two, Ubisoft, Nintendo, Microsoft, Konami, Level 5, Epic Games, so on and so on. Don't be a member of ESA because now you're saying that you are in support of what just happened.
Yeah.
On a side note, it's kind of funny that the police showed up on like scooters or whatever.
Yeah, segways.
Yeah.
How can you take anybody seriously?
You can't.
With those.
It's the only way to get around.
I've seen another picture. I think in that picture, if you look closely enough, one of the officers is sort of handling a Ouya T-shirt, and
I see him with a bag,
picture, or a bag, or
Oh,
something.
there you go.
There was a picture.
There it is.
Of that officer
right?
holding. Yeah, I saw him holding up a T-shirt in one photo, and these guys are like, "All right, well, carry on. Thanks for the T-shirt."
Here's a T-shirt. Have a good day, officers. Oh yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
I mean, what can they do? They have these guys have permits
Nothing.
to do whatever they want to do.
That's my point. It's literally nothing more than they were outside and you can view this. That's all it is. It's the E3 Expo, whatever, didn't make any money.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, let's put a big truck in front of them and we'll block them off, and then they went, okay, let's put some banners out in front, and then they resorted to calling the police.
Yeah.
To which they went, oh, here's all our paperwork. Do you want a beer?
Thank you, ESA. Probably still has those people that decided to cancel E3 and make it all in hotel rooms only.
Yeah. It's just like, what?
Well, I foresee Nintendo's approach this year of doing everything sort of remotely. I know I said this last week or the week before, but I just see that becoming a bit more popular because all of a sudden there can be these control demos. Because during the E3 conference, I believe the PlayStation conference, there was a malfunction. Like one of the games, Assassin's Creed.
Oh,
it crashed. It was absolutely
in the
amazing because it crashed in the same way that it did in the original first game that they had. Like there was a bug where when you jumped in the air at one point, it would freeze, but you were still able to control the camera, so you could like rotate the camera around. It was kind of like being in the Matrix, but you weren't moving. And it happened. He jumped in the air, and the whole thing froze, and they all just looked at each other awkwardly.
Yeah.
What do we do now? Speaking of Assassin's Creed,
yeah.
I watched a couple of things from it because now they're doing like pirates.
Yeah.
And I've got to say, and I was a pretty big fan of this series, but what they showed off at E3 was just horrifically boring.
Well, yeah. I know.
Well, I've been a fan of it though, right up until the last game. And the last game wasn't that great, but I still played it, still enjoyed it. And this I half watched it on my other screen while I was doing something else. It was just like, alright, more of the same, again. And it's just like, I remember when this game used to be about assassinating people.
Yeah, it pretty much was with a loose backstory, but that was all you needed.
Yeah, now it's just fun. Now it is just. Yeah.
Yeah.
All
right.
I don't know.
Let's get on to some of the winners here. Well, according to PC Gamer magazine, who is I think the only magazine left, but they called they're calling the best games here. One of them is the best FPS. They're calling Titanfall, which is the one being developed by Respawn, the guys who ran from.
Oh, really?
Infinity Ward.
Yeah. Yep.
I watched that. That looked just what?
If you take a second look at it, and you will notice it's basically it's Call of Duty Future Warfare is what that is.
Yeah. I swear I even saw some of the same running animations.
Probably did.
This is some demo footage. Waiting for players.
It's Future Warfare. But it's using, Morpheus, that's a great point. It's using the Source engine, though, which is surprising. Which is almost a guarantee that it's going to end up on PC. But there's this weird thing going on with it as well, where it's being published by EA, but using Valve's Source engine. So which store does it end up on when it comes to PC?
Neither, probably. I know, it's just looked really weird. It was like shooter, but then you're like in mechs or something.
Yes, it's like the mechs run up to you and throw you inside their belly. Get in my belly.
Yeah.
I saw it and it was just like, okay.
I like that. I kind of like the way that looks. I like that kind of aggressive nature.
Just
like
jump out of a helicopter at like 50 feet while wearing nothing but those weird rubbery flight suits.
It's the future. Future Warfare.
It's the future where gravity doesn't take effect.
Make this moddable, which I hope they do on the Source engine, and you've got a winner.
Yeah.
and a winner.
I agree
Not
with
just because it's a game out there that you can mod, but I see this thing turning into some really interesting gameplay that doesn't already exist. I mean, look at this game that we're watching right now. We're watching... What was it that they took? The id Software title that was all these that was supposed to be large scale before Rage. I can't remember the name of it, and the game failed. But all right, I can't remember.
I don't know.
So,
I just get looking at this. I just see Call of Duty again on the Source engine.
yeah, but you're seeing these mechs against people, and the people are doing some interesting things, probably with jetpacks and whatnot. But let's change it up. What if this was more like you want to shoot these, you want to deal with the mechs, you have to do it in these large-scale battles. But you have to get out of these mechs and stuff to do the inner building kind of things. So now the mechs become sort of like this outside huge battle vehicle, but still you have to do it to fight your way into the smaller areas. And now you're into these small areas doing one-on-one against these people, and it becomes a dual mode game.
Well, that's Battlefield.
It's Battlefield 2142.
Yeah, well,
yes.
Not the current Battlefield. Current Battlefield has it doesn't have the mechs that are like quick and agile that
so,
these are.
Speaking of Battlefield, I watched the multiplayer thing that they did, which was clearly they sat down and went, all right, at this point you go through here, and then at this point I'll fly a helicopter up to this bit. But it looks graphically looks amazing, but it just looked so boring.
That
I saw
Battlefield. If the Battlefield demo, if somebody didn't tell me it was Battlefield 4, I would swear it was Battlefield 3 with a map pack.
That's because it is. That's
Right
exactly
there.
what it is.
See what I'm pointing at? Right on the nose there, Ham. It's exactly what it is. I was there. I watched the game. It is Battlefield 3, new maps, buggy maps, but you know what? It's early in development because a lot of people were just going under and into models and hiding in there, and then finding they couldn't get out and having to kill themselves. And then there's this commander mode, which, okay, you know what? I'm glad to bring the commander mode back, but this is nothing new. We've already had this 2142. Thank you. And what they're doing, though, is they're saying, okay, well, you can do the commander mode on your phone or tablet or something like that, which I kind of like that idea. That means that you can have an additional screen over here that you can interact with while playing the game over here as a commander, which I kind of like that option because it doesn't pull you out of the game as much. But I'm really, really disappointed. It's going to be it's Battlefield 3.
I mean, it looks 100%. I mean, there's like some small touches with some UI stuff, but really, at first I thought I was looking at Battlefield 3. Like, I thought they were supposed to be showing Battlefield 4.
Yeah.
And then I realized, like, oh, wait, this is Battlefield 4, but it looks the exact same.
Yeah, it does.
Big disappointment there. I don't know what I expected, but I didn't expect that.
There might be a couple of features here and there that they fiddled with, maybe in the menu or changing up some weapons a little bit, but it's the same game. And as a matter of fact, looking at it, I'd have to say that it looks like they purposely pulled some colors out of it in order to make it feel more gritty. But I think, to me, that just makes it more obvious that it's not a next-gen game, that it feels backwards.
Yeah. Now the single-player portions, they've shown some of the campaign stuff. It looks cool because it's like giant set pieces and all this sort of crazy stuff happening, and that's cool. That's fine. But it was the multiplayer that was like, why can't I just buy this as a map pack?
Yeah. Yep. Or get it with your Elite subscription.
Yeah. And Morphus, you're right. It's like a blue filter. I've noticed that pretty much in all the Frostbite games. It's very blue, all of them.
So I wasn't happy about that either. But this is Battlefield. That's through EA, right? Because EA had a monstrous presence on the entire show floor.
Yeah,
they were spread out, but it was a big deal.
I foresee all the big publishers getting together and making their own console. It only plays Call of Duty and Battlefield, and Gears of War.
Well, I don't know what happened because you'll never get Activision and EA putting Call of Duty and Battlefield together.
Yep. I know. No. There will be battles to make that happen. Some of the other games that were announced by this PC Gamer magazine happened to be the best RPG was Dark Souls 2, which I didn't actually fool around with, so I don't know.
I think
don't
people
even know
were
if
pretty
there was
excited
gameplay.
about it, because if I remember rightly, this is the game that drove people insane because it was so hard.
Oh?
Yeah, it's like back to the old school where you have to try this one bit 15 times just to survive.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
I've never played the
Well,
first one.
No, me neither, but I swear it's this game. I
Yeah,
think
it
it's
is.
good that
Okay. It is, you're
they
right.
they have the balls to just be like, no, we're not gonna make it for the modern generation where it's like press X to win.
But there was very little information about it. I really think that the only thing they showed off was this, and maybe behind some closed doors they had some media demos that I don't see any videos for, but because they're saying that after dying 3 times in 10 minutes, somebody found a demo's boss who summoned more enemies on top of them.
Yeah, I probably will I play it? Probably not, because it's not my dog
Yeah.
game. But I like the fact that they're like, no, obviously let's not dumb this down. Let's actually make it like old school games where, you actually have to. There's some skill involved.
Mm-hmm.
Where you spend like 7 hours with your buddies in the basement trying to get it, just finish one tiny little bit.
I can dig it. I understand what it's trying to do, and I do like that old school feel where like some things can be frustratingly difficult, but you just want to keep going. What I don't like is that I'm seeing a lot of games becoming taking a lot of RPG elements, and I understand this is actually an RPG, so that's fine. But there are quite a few games where I'm shooting people and numbers are popping out of them, and I'm picking up equipment and trading things out, and maybe I don't want that in my first-person shooter or my racing game.
It's one of the reasons why, and I keep going back to it, but it's one of the reasons why I enjoy Arma so much. Because there is absolutely none of that. There is no, you don't get a pop-up going, well done, you shot somebody. I mean, I've played sessions of Arma for like 4 hours, and we finished a mission, it's like, yes, we did it, and I didn't kill a single person. Fired
good.
shots, you're suppressing, you're moving, you're running through, you're taking down vehicles, but I don't think I definitely remember not even killing a single person. I've done missions where I was a medic and I didn't even fire a single shot. And it's just like, but you don't care because it's like, yes, we did it. It's a much more kind of team. It's weird because there's no. Oh yeah, you can like have this on your phone and you can like. There's no specifically built-in thing that's like, this is why you need to play co-op on this. I genuinely think it's because they stayed away from all the like pop-up numbers and the achievements and the.
Yeah.
3 monitors, a TV, 2 phones, and a tablet. All right, I'm ready.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, it is Arma, so sometimes you do need like 3 keyboards. But I'll give you that one. But then, I mean, it's just I genuinely think it's because they've stayed away from that ridiculous achievement unlocked. Oh, what? You can't use this gun because you haven't unlocked. You're not level 61. It's like, but I can see it in front of me. Can't I just pick it up? And that's Arma. If it's there, you can use it. Most of the time.
That's kind of a good question, Morphus. I'm not sure how to answer that. There's too many possibilities. We used to keep going. Why do we quit so easily now, he asks. In other words, we used to just keep trying or keep playing, but now we just play the game, and if it's too hard, we quit?
I've never done that, but okay.
I do that to an extent. I do that because I feel guilty about wasting time on something that I can't get through. But it's not because it's too hard, it's just because...
Well, is it because we actually have more choice these days?
We don't. What are we playing? I'd rather play nothing than...
But I mean, like... that's a different issue, though. But generally speaking, it's like, I can play through something now, okay, it's too hard, I'll just go and play something else.
But But you know what it is? It's weird because if the core gameplay is fun, and you can see how it's sort of where you're messing up, and it feels fair. It's like, oh man, I should have timed that a little bit better, and that's why I lost. And you're trying to sort of perfect that. That'll keep you going.
Well, is
to
it
finish
then a case of lack of substance?
I think a lot of these things are sort of lack of substance, and it's like, this just doesn't feel fair to me, and I keep dying. And I've got to get lucky to win.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's too hard, and it's not like it's kind of shit, so I don't really care enough to. Whereas maybe before, like I remember playing the first Metal Gear Solid game, and that was a tough game.
Zork was tough, and I played that several times. It's tough because there's nothing to see. It's all text-based. There's no map. There's nothing. Figure it out.
Yeah. I mean, I remember playing the original Sonic for hours and hours on end, and there was no saves in that.
No, there wasn't, was there?
No, so you couldn't. If you turned it off, that's it. You were done for. You had to start from the beginning again.
Which is kind of wild because now, if you put out a game nowadays, even a game sort of like Sonic, but there was no save, it'd get ding points for that. Despite that being part of the thrill of like, I gotta keep going until I win, or until I beat the game, versus starting off where I left.
Too many possibilities for the answer of that question, Morphus.
Yeah. It's a philosophical discussion.
Yeah, I think it is something definitely to do with there's just a lack of. I don't know. It's difficult because games are different now to what they used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, best strategy game, which I've heard this from other people. Total War Rome 2.
I thought that was out already.
I'm not a big let's see, trying to skip along to get you some more view of this. It's pretty. I mean, think of a Rome version of Company of Heroes, which also was there. Company of Heroes 2 was there, but they didn't win anything.
This looks good. I just didn't pay attention on purpose because I'm not much of a strategy or a real-time strategy guy.
I know Foyle absolutely refuses to play these games against me.
Oh no.
Because I'm
throwing stones and he's shooting lasers.
That was literally what it was like. That was absolutely, that was so funny. And it'd be like he'd attack. He was like spreading what little forces he did have out and attacking me in little spots, and I'd be like, all right, send 100 guys this way, send another 100 that way. Who have I got? Oh look, there's about 700 warriors down here. Yeah, you go that way. Go deal with that.
Really, it was, and that's not just one play. That was multiple rounds.
No, I gotta say, for not knowing what's going on and not really being a fan of these games, this does look impressive. The scale.
I know.
I guess this looks like a siege happening.
The Total War series has always been good, from what I understand. I remember playing one of them at one point. Maybe in Shogun or something. Shogun Total War.
Yeah, Shogun was, I think, before Rome.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of these games, but I'll play them.
Yeah, every time I sort of think to myself, like, you know, oh wow, that's pretty cool. Every time I think, like, I'm gonna give it a chance, if there's a demo, I'll play the demo, and I get like halfway through the tutorial, and I'm like, all right, this is not for me. I'm done. It's just, as much as I try to convince myself or want to convince myself, some things are just not meant to be. These games just not liking it. But something like this though, I actually would sit down and watch people who know what they're doing. Sit down and watch the game take place. I'd spectate because this stuff looks cool.
No, it's not a console game. Nope.
Yeah, I've got this habit of watching Dota 2 being played. I've got no idea how to play the game. I've got no desire to want to play that game, but it looks cool to watch the battles play out and sparks and explosions and people dying and all that stuff. That's fun for me.
Okay, moving on. The biggest best action game, which is interesting that they're calling it an action game. I guess it could be, because really what The Evil Within is an action horror game, is what they're saying.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a survival horror.
Yeah, survival horror, right. And they're saying it's pretty good, like Resident Evil, but like a new way to go with Resident Evil.
Yeah, one of the guys
This is,
behind
Bethesda,
Resident
right?
Evil.
This is The Evil Within.
Yeah, it's by Bethesda though.
Oh, I don't know actually.
It
Oh,
is.
I don't know whether it is by them or whether they're just publishing it. I'm not
Bethesda.
sure.
Yes, Bethesda. Correct. Which Bethesda stuff was all behind closed doors, so I couldn't see what they were trying to do.
Well, so
I'm surprised The
secretive.
Last of Us didn't win anything because they were big presence there.
Well, isn't this PC games though?
The Last of Us? Yeah.
Is PlayStation only. Which,
PlayStation.
from what I've heard, is Naughty Dog's best work to date,
I
which is saying something.
I spent, I think probably all of yesterday watching an entire playthrough of that game because I'm not gonna get PlayStation 3 and I'm not gonna buy The Last of Us. So because I don't have a PlayStation 3, so there was someone who uploaded a no commentary playthrough of the entire game, and I watched it from beginning to end. It's like watching like an 8-hour movie. It's really good.
Yeah, I mean, I know the third, because Naughty Dog is the guys behind the Uncharted.
Yeah.
The third one wasn't that great. The second one wasn't amazing, but I remember the first one. The first one was very impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, as the sequels went on, it got a little bit, because there's only so many times you can climb up a ladder, and it breaks as you're climbing up for it to shock you. After a while, it's just a bit like, oh look, it's gonna break when I get on it, and it kind of lost its. But the first one was very good. It was early PlayStation 3 as well. It was kind of like,
Yeah, I've watched some of the first one, and it's really impressive. I guess we don't know what Naughty Dog is coming out with next, but we don't have any hints of what the next project is. But
We just know Last of Us. That's it. Yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
hopefully the next project maybe comes to PC, as well as PlayStation, since the architecture is so close now.
Yeah,
For The Last of Us is
maybe.
quite impressive.
Morphus, I told you, most of the games are coming out for console. How about this other one? Something called Star Wars Battlefront?
This just... I'm on the fence about this, because one, I loved the Star Wars Battlefront.
Yep.
It was awesome. It was a great game. It's like playing Battlefield, but it's Star Wars. Is essentially the best way to describe this. It's not quite the same, because you can kind of level up and be a well-known character from Star Wars kind of thing. You can take control of them for a limited amount of time. Like, you could, if you did enough kind of killing and stuff, you could level up and be like Darth Vader for 2 minutes.
Kind of like a power-up or something.
Yeah, kind of like in the old strategy games like Command and Conquer, where you get a brief amount of time where you'd have like a super. But you know, they were good and it's fun. And then I saw this and it's like, oh my god, they're gonna do a Battlefront game and it's gonna be on the Frostbite, so it's gonna look amazing. And then I realized it's EA.
Yeah. The guys behind Battlefield are doing it, so I mean, it's got potential, but then it's also got potential for EA to screw it up.
Yeah, massively, and it's just like,
And it's weird how EA often screws things up. It's not always necessarily on a development front, but it's like everything that surrounds development. So it's like, it's a great core game, but we're gonna charge you for map packs, like that we said during development we're gonna be free, and then we're gonna charge you the same price as the game for collection. Like, I don't know, or we're gonna release something so that you can get all the unlocks sort of right away. And there's something to be said about the whole unlock system anyway, but like, we're gonna place all these different things in front of you that you can buy to make the game easier or give you a leg up, and it's just like, those are decisions that shouldn't exist, but it's all EA's doing. So they've definitely got the ability, and they've proven that they can screw up great things. So,
well, they say they don't want to make this seem like Battlefield, but you know, really what they should do, which I'm not sure if they did or not, is they should go out and get the developers that were making mods for Battlefield 2 that were like, or Battlefield 2142 that were Star Wars-ish, and make a real game out of it like that. Might actually do well. And is that what this is? I'm not sure. I think so. 25 vehicles in game. You can drive an AT-AT or a speeder bike.
Yeah, there was like space levels as well, so you could do a whole. It was like a completely space only battle. Where it's kind of like Battlefield in the same way you'd spawn on the the ship on either team, and you'd have to go down and get into your ship and then fly out of there. It was great. It was a good game, but I could just see EA massively killing this.
Well, EA is also going to try, which isn't in this list, but Mirror's Edge. Mirror's Edge 2 is supposed to be popping up.
What is it, Mirror's Edge 2, or is it just Mirror's Edge again? Because from what I read, they're just rebooting the first game.
Yeah, it could be rebooting the first game, but something about it not having been able to do something with the other consoles, and now they're going to be able to do it with the new consoles, so they're going to do it. Which sounds to me like, oh, we can add some more physics or something.
Yeah.
I think the trailer says it's all in engine footage. It looks impressive.
I liked Mirror's Edge just because it was different. It was first person, but it was like a climate, like a action game.
I'm probably
whether I want to play another one, it's a different.
A lot of people have been clamoring for it. And I'm probably going to get a lot of flack for it, but I'm in the middle of playing Mirror's Edge, the original here, and the only one. And for a while, I've been sort of starting it and stopping it, starting it and stopping it, starting over and stopping, because I don't know, the latest hot game came out, and I want to play that instead. But I'm I don't know, a few hours in, and it's nice, but it's not that great. And I'm not sure what the big hype was. Like, a lot of people just like, oh, I can't wait for Mirror's Edge 2. They should really make Mirror's Edge 2. The first one was so great. It was such a great game. And it's just like, it's okay. It's actually okay.
I wouldn't describe it as a great game, because it really wasn't. It was,
but it's different.
It was different. That's the reason I enjoyed it. It was because
it was
something. Yeah, it was something different. It was something I hadn't played before. I kind of liked the whole color to it. Like, it was kind of white, but then there'd be. It's kind of cool, but yeah, whether it's like the greatest.
No.
Hence, like, do I want to play another one? No.
No.
Probably not.
No. Like Fear, you got it out of your system, and
yeah, I mean, it was
now
cool,
it's nothing
and
new.
it was fun, and now it's just like, all right, I wouldn't play. Like, I played it through once, I wouldn't play it through again.
Yeah.
And what PC Gamer is saying is the highlight of the show. I can't call it the best game, which they're doing it. Is virtual reality goggles, basically. They're saying
Oculus Rift.
Well, you know what? Probably the Oculus Rift. I mean, Oculus turned around and said that they're going to now that they now have a 1080 version, which is much higher res, and I hope it makes a difference, because I've seen the other version and it is blurry. But there's also some others out there, which Welshy, you and I saw over at PAX, some of them. But there's even another one that I saw come out this year at this show, which was $1,000. Much lighter weight, much nicer looking, but it's $1,000. Oculus Rift right now, we're assuming, we don't know, is going to be closer to $300.
Yeah, and that makes such a difference. You could have the greatest product, but if it's $1,000, you're not really gonna do so well.
Right.
Until it comes down in price.
So yeah, so that was supposedly the highlight. Well, you know what? Maybe it's not the highlight of the show, but it's what you should do is consider that there's a lot of people talking about it and wanting to integrate it. But hey, movies did that with 3D too. How many people are excited about that 3D movie and TV that they have?
Yeah,
there was something that I read recently about 3D. I think it was 3D TVs not doing so hot. Like,
I said that when they came out.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people said that. Like, you know what? Nobody asked for this.
No. You know what's great about these TVs? Smart TVs, because you have apps in them. and you can do a lot more with it. You can watch your Netflix or Hulu, or maybe soon you'll be able to play those little Android-type games and stuff like that. I like the little smart apps. I think they're cool. And the high refresh rate of those TVs. Now, because 3D TVs need a faster refresh rate in order to divide up the frames, one for one eye and one for the other, which is usually how the 3D works, they're faster refresh rates, and you can see the difference in the high-definition films as a result.
And I think the fast refresh rate is great. The 3D, we all knew it was a gimmick. I think it's starting to become, like, it's for everybody who didn't realize that to begin with. I think it's starting to become a bit more clear. Like, hey, this is a gimmick. Nobody really cares about this. And I think part of it is because it just wasn't that great to begin with. It didn't look that cool.
No,
it looked sort of weird.
I actually don't even like 3D movies in the theater.
Yeah.
No.
And it's not because they make me sick or anything like that. It's just that I don't like wearing the glasses, and when I put them on, things get darker. So why do I want to remove some of this color clarity?
So I don't know.
All right. A few more topics that I know we're at our hour. That's why I'm like, what to get to. I'm going to just say that there was a Thief E3 presentation that went on.
Thief inside and outside of E3, apparently.
Outside? Oh, yeah. That's right. A lot of thievery, indeed.
I briefly watched this, and the cool thing about Thief that I remember was it was all stealth.
Yeah.
And he asked at some point in a minute, is this all a complete stealth game like the others? And he's like, well, yeah, but you know, if you want to go around and just like fight people, and we give you the tools to do that, and I just
Yep.
Mistake. That's the mistake right there.
It's a medieval Splinter Cell.
Basically says to me this isn't going to be that great.
No. That's all
because that statement right there tells me that at some point they're going to force you to fight somebody.
Yeah.
Some people like that. You know, if that's what you like, then go for it. This is your game.
Yeah, but not in a Thief game, because that was what made Thief really good.
Right.
Was the fact that it was like a stealth game, but it was in first person, which at the time was pretty unheard of. The other irony with this is it looks exactly like Dishonored. Like there's a bit where somebody goes at him and he blocks with his sword, which is I swear is the same animation from Dishonored.
All right, we also had Arma 3 there, but there really isn't anything new to talk about regarding Arma 3. A beta coming up soon.
Yeah, not really. Beta's coming up soon. What you're going to get with that is lots of fixes and like some more helicopters and vehicles to play with.
Yeah, I got another Arma 3 lanyard.
That's about it, yeah.
Batman. There's actually, was it two different It's two different Batmans, I'm going to say. And that's not because the second Batman is an actual game by itself, but he's in it. So first I'll talk about Arkham Origins, because that was a Batman that was brought up this time. Actually, there's that, but then this is a walkthrough of it.
I love Batman. I read the comic books. I played Arkham Asylum, it was amazing. I played Arkham City, it was amazing. I watched the video for this and thought, this looks exactly the same as Arkham City. They have changed nothing. Other than character models and a different story, it looks exactly the same.
And promo videos, they changed those too.
Well, yeah. And I watched a separate interview where he was like, "Oh no, we haven't really changed anything that Rocksteady was doing. We've just added a couple of things." And it's just like, okay, so this is the same game.
Yeah.
And somebody said to me, "Well, is that a bad thing?" And I was like, "Well, no, because the previous one was good. Why change something that is good?" But then at the same time, it's like, so they're just doing this for the sake of it, then.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of Batman as well, and I am okay with more of the same. Just because
it's kind of like
it was
good. It's not that it was bad or anything. It's like,
but at the same time, you do wish there was something else to move it forward a bit more.
I think what I came down to is, will I like buy and play this? Yes, because it's Batman. Will I enjoy it as much as like Arkham City? Probably not.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I mean, huge fan. Love it. I love it. Like I get pumped up every time.
I have a stack of Batman comic books right here. I'm touching them right now.
Oh boy. Wow. The other game that was talked about during E3, which I think is already out, Injustice Gods.
Oh, Injustice Gods.
Yes, it is already out. Yeah. Another Batman DC thing that I was like, oh yeah, this could be really amazing. You know, it's like Mortal Kombat, but it's DC. And then I saw footage of it, and it's just like,
I'll show you some later.
I played the demo on Xbox, and I wasn't digging it. It felt like, I don't know, it felt like Mortal Kombat with weird DC models, which I guess shouldn't be too surprising since it came from NetherRealm, the guys behind Mortal Kombat. But it just, I wasn't necessarily digging it.
No, me neither. It's just kind of, yeah.
What else we heard about is that Saints Row will allow for modding. We found out this past week.
I've never played any of those games.
No, me either.
They're fantastic. They are fantastic. They're so silly, you can't help but just like it. I mean, there's a horde mode that starts off, and this is in part 3. There's a horde mode that starts off with you like hitting prostitutes with a giant rubber dildo. Like, I mean, what happens with that? It's called whore mode, not horde mode. So whore mode, and
that gives you an idea of what kind of mods to expect out of this.
Yes,
naked chick mods kind of thing. Which I think there's already a bunch of them out there already. Then the other one that's talked about modding was Battlefield 4. There won't be any.
Well, we already knew that.
Yeah, well, they're just making sure you understand.
Yeah.
None for you.
Going in.
Well, it's the same thing though, isn't it? It's why give the ability to mod when we can just charge you like $12.99 for a map pack?
Yes. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Let's see. There was I thought there was. Oh yeah, AMD. AMD talked about releasing a 5 gigahertz CPU.
I'd be down.
Yay!
As long as the
I wouldn't,
performance
because
is
it's
good.
AMD.
Yes. Sure.
It's funny because I used to be like Strider, where it was very like, yeah, AMD. You know what you get. Not the the less expensive, you get more. Or it is the not less expensive, but you got more for your money with AMD.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, just go with AMD. And I had an AMD processor, and I had an AMD graphics card at one point, and it was like, yeah. And then I switched to NVIDIA purely because I was so tired of the graphics driver issues, and this hasn't been programmed properly. This was only programmed with NVIDIA chipsets in mind, and it's like your AMD card doesn't work properly, and you get like artifacts on the screen, and the drivers aren't up to date because they haven't released them yet, and it's just like, I'm done with this.
Well, drivers issues for the graphics cards swore me off for the graphics cards, and then one day I used to use them for processors, and then one day I went to compile a video, and I couldn't compile it to a certain format because I had an AMD chip and not Intel. And I was like, oh, well, that's it.
It's not necessarily AMD's fault.
No.
It's just the fact that it's like Intel and NVIDIA have got such a stronghold on it. It's just
Why wouldn't I want the best?
Exactly.
Right?
It's like, I'm spending all this money. I want something that is going to work 100% of the time, not 98% of the time. 98% of the time is fine, but spending $500, I want 100%.
Yeah, it's you want to support AMD. You want to.
I do.
Yeah, it's like you want to because they're not NVIDIA. That's kind of.
I want to because they're like, cheaper and they seem like the underdog. I want to. But
yeah, but at the same time, it's just like you can't. It's like they make you not want to.
Yeah. And It's a hard place to be in.
Yeah.
And I think that wraps up all our topics, doesn't it?
It's the red-headed stepchild, yeah. So you want to love them, but, they're ginger, so...
I just don't see it happening.
Wow. They should get Conan to be their spokesperson. Okay. So yeah, that's it. That's oh yeah, I don't want to talk about anything else because yeah, everything else is boring. All right, you guys have anything else you want to bring up for the wrap up of this week?
Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day. Remember to tell your dad that.
Rift is now free to play in case anybody ever wanted to try it out and
Right.
see what that's about. So that's all really. I've been waiting to actually play it, but then they have these evacuees from the wildfire who've been staying with us, so I haven't been able to get into my office to actually use my PC.
You can have quite the LAN party now.
Yeah.
Getting more people in
You know
there.
what? You know what I really like about living in North America is the fact that you guys recycle cell phone numbers so quickly that at least once a week to even multiple times a week I get like random text messages. It's just great. Wayne,
What is
here's
this?
that casuals website I told you. I got loads of play on hookupsconnect.com. Easier than... I assume that's plenty of fish. You'll do well on it. Still need a ride later, bro?
That is a spam message. That's what that is.
Without a doubt. But, it's just funny. And somebody calls me every day, like every weekday as well.
Yeah.
I don't answer it because I'm at work, so I just ignore my phone. But
Yeah. I thought you were ignoring
And,
me. All right.
I am ignoring.
I suppose the only other thing I should mention, aside from the random Rift thing, is that we're all winners here. When we look at what E3 presented, and we look at what we have as PC game players, just know that we've won.
Yep. We won 2 years ago
Yeah.
when
Nothing
all
to
of
fear.
the hardware they're now going on about came out for PC.
Yeah.
Yes, your feel-good message of the day. Thank you,
Yes.
ma'am. All right.
PC. Already
PC
won.
all the way.
PC, be safe in the knowledge you've already beaten the consoles.
Yeah.
Unless it's Windows 8, then you're screwed.
All right. I guess on that note, I'll find out what I'm supposed to say at the end of here, and I will say thanks to our hosts for taking the time out to chat today. Welshy, thank you very much for joining us today and posting the topic links as I jumped around on them. And I guess, yes, since being at the end, I guess he's crashing. And Ham, I want to thank you for taking the time out to chat today.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah, you see, he crashes every time we get ready to close the show. He's got like a set limit of words, and then he gets killed on that. All right. Then I guess on that, I'm going to finally thank you, the fans of MODSonair.com and the subscribing members of MODSonline.com, because you make the show possible. Yes, it takes a little money. Not much. Anyway, have a great weekend. Go play some games. Adios. Thanks for watching this week, and come back next week when we will broadcast another live show. Details for this and all past episodes can be found at MODSonair.com. We welcome your feedback via email at mailbag@modsonair.com. And please consider subscribing to modsonline.com to support our show. The opinions expressed by individuals on this program are not necessarily the opinions of our sponsors, owners, or partners. Alright, not as great as some of his others, but here Conan reviews Injustice. He's actually got a character in this game.
Oh.
Yeah.
Conan here. Welcome again to Clueless Gamer. Today we're looking at the game Injustice: Gods Among Us. Here to tell us more about the game, my assistant nerd, Aaron Blair. Aaron.
Hello, how's it going?
Good to see you.
Actually, before we get going, this comic book they released kind of tells the prequel of the story that we're gonna see.
So let me get this straight. You have to read a comic book before you play the video game. We've entered a new level of nerd. This is pretty hot and heavy. Is that Lois Lane?
Yeah, that's Lois Lane and Superman.
Lois Lane and Superman, a lot of nudity, and they're making out.
He gets her pregnant, actually.
Whoa!
That's the kind of the story.
He gets her super pregnant. All right, let's play. I'm ready to fight.
First, you got to pick your character. So on the left, we have all the heroes.
Yeah.
On the right, we have all the villains.
Yes.
Your typical ones. Here we got Superman.
Talk me out of Superman. Superman's the best.
All right.
There's no hero you can come up with.
Well, okay. Well, what about there's Aquaman? He's got a big.
Even fish are embarrassed when they see Aquaman. They put their flippers up and like. You know who's stupid? The Archer one. Who's that?
Oh, Green Arrow?
Yeah! Here comes Superman. How do we stop him? I've got a bow with an arrow.
Here's the cool thing. We actually are premiering General Zod.
This is a big scoop for you kids. Get the cheese out of your eyes, because General Zod is in town.
You can download this in July.
Mother, quiet! I'm downloading General Zod! All right, let's play.
Guaranteed that happens
Batman.
somewhere in the world.
Go for it. I'll play Wonder Woman. You can fight me.
Here comes Batman ineffectually taking a shuttle from Boston to Detroit. He'll be landing in about 40 minutes. Hey, she has a whip. It's very dominant.
Notice the console, the arcade-like controls they have.
Yeah.
Now I'm just leaping. Batman was in Cirque du Soleil for a while. You're mine. Okay, I don't know what just happened. Did we just have sex? I think we just had sex. Quick, but she seems happy.
That happens a lot with these Mortal Kombat-like
Wonder
games,
Woman
doesn't it?
wins.
You're no
Yeah.
match for an Amazon.
That's humiliating. You know what? Batman is going to
That's
have a
what
hard
happened.
time performing sexually. For quite a while now. I want to be Lex Luthor in his metal suit.
Okay. This will be two Superman enemies fighting each other. So we'll fight in Superman's place, the
Fortress of Solitude.
We're not just going to play in the Fortress of Solitude. We're going to play in Superman's zoo.
He has a zoo?
Yeah, where he keeps all of his alien creatures from all the planets he's visited.
Why does he do that? That seems creepy. To take animals away from their natural habitat?
Michael Jackson did it.
Right. Okay, creepy there.
Must I remind you of my superior?
Oh, you're doing pretty good, actually.
Yeah, now I'm button mashing like crazy. Just basically retyping my
That's
college
how you
thesis.
play.
Oh my God, he might win!
See? Just dash buttons and mash buttons.
Fake fighting turns into real fighting.
We'll play General Zod.
Is that Batgirl?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be Batgirl.
Hit it there.
This planet will be mine.
That guy just flew through space, and she's using a rope to get around. Okay, General Zod is good. Oh man.
Oh yeah, there we go.
You just shot her in the breast!
Yeah.
Look, these two end up going out.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
where's he taking her?
Smash her through the moon.
Oh, she cannot get aside. I would think you're ahead in points if you just threw me through the moon. And all I've done is be sarcastic to you.
I killed you.
Whoa! He became Pope. Zod became Pope. In the future, that's how you become Pope. It's not. There's no enclave anymore. You fight Batgirl, and if you win, it's right out to the. Oh, don't touch yourself. Blades are dominating, so we're going to even things up a little bit. First, I'd like you to pick what I think would be a lame character like Aquaman. And I am going to be a character that I co-created with the genius Bruce Timm, the Flaming Sea.
C for
Flaming
Conan.
Sea!
It is his own
Love
character.
Flaming Sea. Look at him. The Flaming Sea is going to fight Managed Man's fish.
I'm just gonna kick your ass then.
Oh, you're gonna kick my ass?
Yeah.
I think not. Here, put this on.
What?
Put this blindfold on. And it's feminine, too, to even humiliate you more. Put it on. Now we go.
Am I winning?
No, you're doing terribly.
Again with the button mashing.
Aquaman wins! Oh, look. Now you go celebrate with the only friends you have, the fish. You're fired. Where are you going? You have nowhere to go. You live here. Okay, we've been playing Injustice, Gods Among Us. I like this game. I thought it had great visuals. I'm gonna give this thing a grade. If slapping play is a low score, and if punching him is a high score, and if pushing you is sort of a medium score, I would give this game works out to a B+.
We need a new scoring system. All right, everyone, enjoy the week. Say hi to Dad for me.